Hi guys, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today we're gonna discuss the environments. I can tell you right off the bat, if you never tried, they're pretty difficult, really hard, really overwhelming, especially if you're used to just kind of drawing characters like I do. First time I did environment, I was just like hating everything. It was like awful, terrible, and very discouraging. And the reason for that is because I choose references like the ones you see in here. Side note, I took those pictures myself, and I picked them for you because I want to show you what I mean by environments are hard and environments are discouraging because of how do we tend to approach it. So when I see this, and when I saw this kind of picture, like, right, we have some rocks, we have some like staircase, nothing too fancy, not a lot of architecture, some trees, some mountains. I used to kind of look at this and I would be like, oh yeah, easy, rocks, trees, I can do that, right? Super easy, like why not? But like, no, no, it's just like not the case. And I will show you what I mean when I say it's hard and it's complex, even though it doesn't seem like that. So basically when we look like at the picture, this is rocks, this is some kind of background, and the first time you see it, it's gonna be like, as I did, like, right, straightforward. But like, no. First thing we have to focus what we kind of sketching is texture of things. Texture and shape and perspective. And maybe it's like not some hardcore building, it's not something like, I don't know, let's say this, you don't have that many straight lines, but you still have perspective here. And you still have a lot of things happening that follows the rules of the perspective. You have like the railway here. And here. And you have like the stairs. And the stairs are rotating. More stairs. Then you have like a metal railway, right? So it has like a texture. Then you have like these man-made blocks here, which have a different texture from the rocks here. And the rock itself, right? Here you have some like cement parts, clearly man-made, but this is like one type of like stony brick thing. This is some like rocks with cement on top of it. This is natural rock, completely different texture. There is some lichen on this rock, different texture. This is like some kind of used, but like kind of used from like people touching it metal. And this is, you know, old kind of metal, and you have those ginger things that I completely forgot how they are called in English. And this is like just the front kind of view. You have like those things here which were like as stairs, I believe. Like, I mean, they are not designed to be stairs, but we use them as such to like enter this place. And like this is just like the front, and then you have like trees, and they all have like different shapes, and then you have like houses, and you have a lake, and you have like a road and trees. And when you see like these trees, because they are far away, they like look like one mass, so they're completely different from like those singular trees. And then like the same thing happening here, like those trees looks different, right? Those trees looks completely different, and those trees looks different as well, because like they more far and you see less of the details. So like it's just like one environment, one single picture, but like it's so difficult, and there's so much stuff happening here. And the same, it's like, sorry, it's the same place, the picture you see below that, let me actually like reduce opacity on it so it's a bit easier for you to understand. But it's the same thing happening here, right? And even though this is like the same place, we look at it from the different angle, and right off the bat we're gonna have completely different set of difficulties. So we have like this huge rock here, you have so many stairs here, you have so many entrances, you have like so many like layers, and like it all follows the like perspective lines, and it's not like a kind of straight house like 1-2 point perspective, or like, you know what I mean. It doesn't follow like just one point, right? Because it's more organic, it's in the rocks and objects are rotating in it, like stairs. They completely like they changing the direction, they have different vanishing points. So it's just like so hard to like get it, even if you wouldn't be concerned with like just drawing the texture. Just making like this shape on its own, it's pretty hard. And this is the rock part, and the same thing as I was talking with the trees is happening here, because you have like similar rocks on these mountains here, and they look completely different because they far, there is less details on them. Of course we have a river, we have more trees, more houses, etc. So like it does seem like it's not a lot, it doesn't seem like super heavy architectural building, but like there is so much happening here. And the same, like for example, the clouds, we have clouds here and we have like different clouds here, and this is also the cloud. And we are entering the territory when as an artist you're also making some decisions. So for example, if I would be sketching this this photo, and I would either like not draw clouds or like completely change their shape, like something like this, to add more like more juice to the sketch. But basically it's like it's getting like more advanced, I would say. Like it's not beginner friendly, and it's definitely not friendly if you are doing those things for the first time. And those remaining two pictures, basically architecture, super overwhelming perspective. If we look at the picture the bottom, we have so many straight lines. We have straight lines here, straight lines here. They all follow the perspective. And the same what I was saying with the texture, you have like 1 meter tall wall here, and already there is so much happening. You have like those little decoration here, and you have like and you have like different type of decoration here. You have like some cables here, you have these openings, you have like, of course you have like a standard brick, which is a foam, more decoration here, like, and this is just like tiny bit part of the wall. And it's not even like what's so good about this picture, right? You have like those bits here, and you have like spherical shapes, which are pretty difficult to draw when you are starting out. So I would say like avoid them in general when you're new. But like you see so much happening. And then when we look like outside of the first plane, when we look mid and back, we have people, we have bus, we have another barely visible building. We have obviously trees, tons of them, and just wanted to highlight it. Sorry, I removed it. Different shapes, different type of trees. Some have more leaves, some are more like, you know, together. And not even mentioning like this part. This part is so hardcore to draw. And obviously, like, you could do a thing and you could just like do a sketch of this part I erased everything with the white so you could see what I mean. And it would make your life easier, but like it's just overwhelming in general, too many elements. So I would say either settle for like singular building or do something that I will recommend to you in a minute. Last picture, just wanted to like repeat and make the same point all over again. Bridge, super hard. And especially like these spherical, circular shapes drawn in perspective, they are really, really difficult. Like in general, like circle and drawing circle and ellipses, it's just like super tough for beginners. So we have this bridge here, we have sculpture, more like some bridges-like structures. We have a lake which basically like reflects everything, which is on its own, it's pretty difficult. We have stones, we have leaves, we have path under leaves. So like all of this is like just different shape, different texture, different elements. And it's just like, I don't recommend picking something like that. And I did prepare for you some references that I personally think are pretty good to start. So we are jumping into pre-recorded stuff, which is like the demo I did of this tree. And the reason I picked the trees and the flowers, it's because a couple of things. No need to worry about perspective as much. They are pretty organic and pretty abstract shapes. Basically that means you can get away with like a lot. If you put one branch higher, lower, nobody's gonna notice, and at the same time it's like perfect for environments because almost every single landscape has a tree, unless you're doing like a desert or like some Antarctic, Arctic kind of stuff. Like most of the environments has some type of trees. Even like the modern architecture or whatever, they usually have like a couple of beautiful flowers or something outside just to like raise the status of the building. So trees on its own, the reference I pick, it may seem overwhelming, but when you look at it closely, it's actually not. It's just circular, spherical, organic shapes. You don't have to care about perspective. You don't have to care about many things that you had to focus with the stuff before. And at the same time, you have a perfect opportunity to focus on your line weight, to focus on catching the shape and the gesture of the thing, and at the same time, focus on texture. And the tree texture is not very hard, it's pretty straightforward. What you probably will see me doing in the demo is making those circular lines, spherical lines around the shape, just to kind of highlight the form and also add a bit of this tree texture. And just to quickly discuss the process itself, first, obviously, I did very quick sketch. I just did the outline of the shape and I kind of did a new layer and started drawing those more complex shapes inside, adding some texture, adding some form, adding some, those lines I mentioned before. And after that, when I kind of have established what I want, clearly I skip the foliage completely. I'm not bothered with leaves. I'm just focusing on the tree part, like the wood part. And clearly at the end I'm starting to add shadows. This is something I do last, and this is my personal process as well, that I'm using 3 to 4 layers. I just want to say, if you need more layers or if you have different process, like you start adding shadows before because the shape is confusing for you or anything like that, it's absolutely fine. If you want to do 50 different type of layers as well, absolutely fine. We tend to watch like more experienced people doing stuff, and more experienced people, they have more experience, right? Like, yeah, pretty obvious, right? But the thing is, like, they have like, years of practicing, and a lot of the stuff is just like easier. And when I used to do like my first sketches, I used to have like 40 layers or something. Now I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 max. I'm actually have like, usually I have 2 because you know, right now I'm recording and sometimes I want to do those processes breakdown, so I want to have like separate layers, but normally I just like genuinely do 1 or 2, and this comes with experience. So I just wanted to quickly add that, especially with something new for you, that environments maybe like just don't bother. Nobody's looking at you, you're not scoring any like pro points, so don't worry. Like if you need more stuff, just like use more stuff, it's all for you. The same with erasing. Just do you and don't stress out. And sadly we didn't make to the flowers, but I already like drew them, I already recorded it, so you will see them in the next video. Thank you guys.